Okay, so I shouldn't have to say this twice because I've trained you all. This is the last Mass, the last time I get to say it this year. Happy Easter!
Happy Easter!
That was better than all the other Masses. Nice job. We should need to be reminded that it's Easter, right? It's 7 weeks in, but this is what we're all about. And similarly, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Another day that we shouldn't need to be reminded of how important our mothers are to us. But in the busyness of life, that day does become important because it brings back our focus to the things that are important, even though we may lose sight of that because of our work and our regular lives. This week I focused a lot on prayer, and it was because of the gospel reading, which I'll get to in a minute. But for me, the reason I focused on prayer is because of the development of my prayer life. So the first 30 or so years of my life, my prayer life consisted of coming to Mass and saying the prayers as part of Mass, most of the time in that back corner of this parish. And a lot of times it was just mumbling through the prayers at Mass. And that was it. Until I started getting involved in the church and in parish life, and that exposed me to a lot more classes, a lot more forms of prayer, more awareness of other forms of prayer. And so I tried lots of things. Some things worked for me, some things didn't. And that's part of the beauty of the faith, is you can latch on to the things that work for you. You don't necessarily have to like or gravitate to the things that may not work for you. But then something else happened a few years ago. Newly ordained deacon, maybe a year or two into my diaconate, I was assigned to St. Patrick's in Pelham, and much like what we are doing here at St. Mark's, or have done here at St. Mark's, we were working on our hospitality ministry and trying to improve it. And so we decided to take a field trip with a small group of us to another church, a non-denominational Christian church. So we went to Manchester Christian Church in Manchester, which I had been to before, so I kind of knew what they were about. And one of my friends, Christian here at St. Mark's, was connected to one of the elders there. So we were able to get kind of a behind-the-scenes tour of what they did and how they functioned around that hospitality ministry. And so in that behind-the-scenes tour, we hooked up with the praise and worship band behind stage after one of their services. And at the end of our conversation, they said to us, "Pray for us." And as a good Catholic, I said, "We will." And then I said to them, "Pray for us." And they said, "We will. Right now," which I wasn't ready for. And we did. And it was uncomfortable for me. And I still didn't have the courage to reciprocate. And the interesting thing to me, as I thought about it this morning with another parishioner, what that says to someone is, you're important to me, but you're not important right now, you're going to be important later. Because it's uncomfortable for us as Catholics to pray right then, in the spot. If you think about it, we all know the Our Father. We say it here at Mass each week. You probably are even aware of where we get the Our Father. In the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke, the disciples say to Jesus, "Teach us how to pray." And he gives them the Our Father, which we still say today. But I can almost picture Jesus, if he was me, I'd be saying, "You guys aren't too bright, are you? We've been working around together for 3 years, you've been watching me pray all the time, and then you come to me and say, 'Teach me how to pray'?" But that's not his response. His response is taking that patience and teaching them what they ask for, that complete prayer that the Our Father is for us. But if you think about what we're about as Catholics, it's about having a relationship with God and Jesus Christ. Think about your own relationships. Is any of your relationships that are deep for you, do they consist of you saying the same thing and only those things to that other person? If they did, it wouldn't be too much of a relationship. I know I tried with my wife, it doesn't work. For some reason she wants conversation, and it has to be different. Jesus does that in today's gospel. One line is all it got me. Jesus raised his eyes to heaven and prayed. And he didn't say something that was written down. He just had a conversation with his Father. That's what relationship is about. And that's what we're called to do. Now, interestingly, knowing that I was going to talk about this today, someone at the 8 o'clock Mass, as they were walking in, they said, "Pray for my husband. He's ill." And I knew what I was going to talk about. So I knew I had to pray right then because I'd be accountable to her after Mass, after talking about this. And I don't know if I did a good job, but I did. And it's hard, and it's uncomfortable. But it was important to her. And so I didn't give you homework 2 weeks ago in my homily. I recognize that when you're home. The homework isn't necessarily always about you. It's really selfishly for me so that I have something to think about and reflect on during the week. That's what the homework is this week. Try to find someone in your life to do some impulsive prayer. Today's a great day, men, because it's Mother's Day. So you can pray over your wives. And hopefully they'll just accept that and not critique it. If you're worried about a critique, find some young children. Just pray over them. They don't care what you say. Another thing I thought, since it's the last Mass and you can't do anything to me, on your way out you can pray over Father Mike. Our priests need our prayers. Think about how many times he prays for us, publicly and spontaneously. On your way out of Mass today, stop in front of Father Mike and say just a short prayer over him. I think he'll appreciate it. If he doesn't, I'll hear about it. More importantly, though, in your daily lives, you're going to come across people this week that are going through struggles. They might have someone in the hospital, some illness they're facing. Ask their permission if you can pray for them, and then ask them if you can pray for them right there. It's a game changer. And I've never asked you to do something that I wouldn't do, so I'm going to try it right now. Heavenly Father, I ask your blessing on these people, this church, our parish, and people gathered here today. That this week, if somebody comes to them and passes through their lives, if they need their prayers, that they have the courage and strength from you to pray for them at that moment. And I ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.